Okay, so I'm continuing with my project life. So I printed out all of my photos from the end of February all the way to the end of April. So I think I counted, and it will be about 18 total pages. So 9 front and back. And these papers that I've stuck in here, those aren't necessarily going to stay. I was just kind of trying to get an idea for the layouts. This includes their spring break. It includes some pretty big events we have in those months. We built a traveling overseers apartment. We had the memorial. We had a friend leaving and going out of town, as well as a visiting speaker from Bethel. And then we had replaced the sound system at another one of the halls. And we had our Pioneer Day and Circuit Assembly. So it's been a busy couple of months, but a lot with a lot of friends. So, and we've had a ton go on in May. So I have to get caught up so that I can start on the big events that we've had this month in the month of May. But I just kind of wanted to show how I get started on the process to make things flow. The first thing I do is edit all the photos. To edit all of these photos took me about 3 to 4 hours to get everything cropped into the sizes that I wanted, and then it probably took about another 3 hours to go through the photos and select the ones to put in each pocket. And so now from this point I will hit the Silhouette Cameo machine as well as my scrap paper stacks and see what we end up coming up with for individual layouts per page. So I'll just show you briefly as I start week 8 of my project life for 2013, how I kind of lay everything out as I'm starting my layout. I had already printed off some journaling cards that I had downloaded on my Silhouette Cameo. Let me move these out of the way. And I stuck them in the slots here, like this little scooter, let the fun begin, that little mason jar. So I just kind of slid them into the slots, and then I had this one here, You Make Me Happy, and another little jar. So I put all the photos in that I know I will be using for this week 8, and then I also kind of pulled out some more little cards to see if any of these would kind of work with what I have going on. I also pulled out my thickers. This is probably what I'm going to use to write out the word week 8 with this. Let me see, which collection of thickers is this? Printed Fabric Letter Stickers by Amy Tangerine. And then I also have these little ones here. So I thought I would use these. They're part of the Everyday Set 2. I thought I would use these to put people's names, since there's a lot of people in these photos. I also got this little cute collection of assorted brads, so those would be really cute on these pages. And then I also got the paper pack itself at Target, so that I can make some background journaling tags if I need to. So we will get started. So what I do now is, after I've selected the paper line that I want to use, I also see how well they coordinate with the actual photos. These are pretty neutral, so it works out pretty well. Not too bad. But see, this photo here, she's in a lot of pink and purple. So I'm going to flip through my paper pad, and this is where I try to find something that can either be neutral enough like this, or closer to the color scheme that might work to blend the entire page together. Like this has the pink roses, and it ties in a lot of pink from the other pieces here as well. I don't think snow cones are really appropriate on this one. Here's another one. It has the pinks, and it could tie in a little bit of all those journaling cards. There's another green. Here's some stripes. Those are pretty cute as well. Here's a really neutral chevron. This would be really good for some of the little areas here where I'm going to add the names. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of these out. Now what I like about these American Craft sheets is here across the top it's perforated. So these are great little strips to be able to save and use in Project Life, since I cut so many things out and trim them to fit on different pieces of paper. It doesn't go well with this particular page, so I'm going to save it, but I know this is going to be a nice neutral to go ahead and have to blend with the rest of these photos here. That one has too much red and yellow. Okay, so we're going to go back and see what pinks we can pull out. I liked this one here. I think this will blend the page together. And again here you can see I have this little strip that I can just pull off, and this will make a great layering strip as well inside of Project Life. So I can use that on any of these little photos right here. And I think I'm going to use this one right here with that photo as a 4x6. Now that my color palette is kind of picked for week 8, I'm also going to pick a color palette for the back page by pulling from the clothes that they're wearing. So I already have 2 journaling cards here. So again, it is the same paper pack. So we can flip through this, and this actually does have a lot of brown and greens. So I thought this would be a good combination because I can use both pieces. I can use this nice green color here, but I can also use this little decorative strip that we have right here on this page as well. Today I'm starting on week 8 of Project Life, and so what I want to do is print out some elements that I have from the silhouette to match the paper line that I already bought. So since I know initially that this project is going to be a print and cut, I need to make sure to go up here to open the Page Tools window and make it letter size 8.5 by 11, since that's the size paper that my printer has. Then I'll click up here under Open the Registration Mark settings and click Show Registration Marks. This ensures that it will use its little laser and scan these 3 points so that when you do the print and cut, it'll first print on your regular printer by using this button, but then when you send it to the silhouette will read these registration marks and make sure to cut exactly around each one of your elements. So what I did was I went and I downloaded from American Crafts the American Crafts Dear Lizzie Neapolitan collection. So I have several different sections here, and I don't really know exactly what items I'll use and which ones I won't, but I want to just create a couple of pages of elements that I can have handy, that I can use my tiny attacher with, or just stick them down onto my papers. So since it's Project Life, I might be able to use these tiny elements, which could be used as dates and things like that. So I really like those. So I'll go ahead and grab a couple of those. This is an easy little word that I would be able to staple and attach to a photo. This is kind of cute, but I don't know that I would use it for sure. I'm not crazy about this bow. I do love this camera, and even if it's a size that may be too big for you to use, you can always scale it down to a smaller size that you might. For example, I would probably use this on a 3x4 journaling card, and obviously that's too wide since it's 4 inches wide. So I can use this and I can scale it down to a little bit below 3 inches to where it can actually fit on a journaling card. Here's some little phrases that might be handy. This one says cheerful. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see better what they kind of look like as I put them on the page. I have more detailed videos on this portion, so I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. I have 3 element pages here from a digital kit that I have, but if you'll notice when I click on the scissors, it goes all white. So that means there are no cut lines formed on there. So we have to create our own by opening the trace window, selecting the trace area, and I select everything, and you'll see a slight yellow form there. Turn the high pass filter off, threshold all the way up, and you'll see it forms these nice big yellow boxes. And I'll click Trace Outer Edge. Now in some cases it does it really clean, and in other cases it doesn't. So you may need to go in and manipulate and edit if you want this to look a certain way. I kind of like the jagged edge it gives on my tag here. It's going to cut it out a little bit funky here, but I'll be able to tear that, and it gives it a nice look. Some of the areas that may not do as well for print and cut for you is light colored objects like this tag here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one out. That one will really have to be a separate type of tutorial another time. But I'll hit Release Compound Path. That way all of these are now individual elements, and I can just go in and delete these loose items that we don't want to cut out. But you'll see for the most part, if I turn my cut lines on, for the most part the edges are really clean around these tags and certain elements. Again, this one's not as clean as I would like it to be, so I can delete that one out as well and edit that later if I want to. But these others you can see are very clean and easy to do. So if you're in a rush, you can just do that basic and delete out those elements that you don't think you'll be using and replace them with other ones. Or you can actually take the time and go in and edit each one manually if you wanted to do that. So over here is all of the pieces that I cut out from the Silhouette Cameo. I created 3 sheets of elements from the American Crafts digital kit the Neapolitan, I cut out various tags and words and tickets. There's just all different kinds of things that I can use as layering embellishments to go on top of this. So I kind of started laying things out, and now we'll start adding wood veneers and journaling and text. So I finished this one side for week 8. So I'll start with the title card. All I did here was use those Amy Tangerine thickers and printed out a Neapolitan collection. I don't know how I ended up with this down here. There we go. Miscellaneous piece. There we go. Printed out this card from the digital collection. These are some of those digital pieces, so I just trimmed them down, layered them, and attached them with my tiny attacher from Tim Holtz. And up here I used a date stamp. Let me see which one I used. I used this one by Amy Tangerine. It's the one with the orange handle. It has those little arrows on it, and it has the dates. So that's the one I used just to state what the dates were for week 8. Over here, I cut out two of the elements off of one of those sheets, and then I added these little wood veneer stars that are from Studio Calico. For here, all I did was print out the card. I didn't do any embellishing on it. I liked it just the way it was. Here I cut out one of the little elements and then just wrote letters on it. That's what she's busy doing. And then the little tag cheerful is from the collection. And then again I stapled it with the tiny attacher. This is journaling card I had demonstrated a while back. Digital journaling card that I made from this Neapolitan collection. And so I just filled it in with the journaling. And then this is part of that rack from my friend that gave me that huge stash of scrapbook items. So it's a wood piece as well. So you can see it has a bit of dimension. Here I cut out more ephemera from the Neapolitan collection and just stapled those down and just did a little bit of journaling of what was going on. And again, I did wood veneer star right there from I'm sorry, that's not Studio Calico. I think these are Freckled Fawn. Yeah, I think I got these from Freckled Fawn. I'm sorry about that. Okay, and so then down here I did quite a bit of embellishing on this one particular 4x6. The first thing I did was I took two of these tags that was from the same collection and cut those out on the Silhouette Cameo, attached it with a staple. Then this is another piece, and then this is one of those tags that I had cut out. It had the number 3 on it, and it didn't really go with what was going on. So I went ahead and covered it with this circle piece that says story, and then I used the stickers from the American Crafts Everyday Set 2 to spell out X-ray, and then from the Everyday collection here of Brad's, I added one of those right here. So this particular card has a lot of dimension and texture to it as well. And then over here I used that same sticker set to just kind of spell out. We went to a Greek restaurant that night called Yanni's, and this is her favorite dish to get there. And then I layered a couple of the hearts from the collection as well. So let me see if I can go overhead a little bit and see if you can see everything more easily. I still have a lot of ephemera laying around. There we go. So that's the overview of page side 1. I do have side 2 to still work on. but I'll need to probably include that in another video. Thanks for watching.